Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of this Bootstrapped Life. You might have noticed my background is a little bit different this week. I'm currently in Miami, so there's that. So, on to business. I've had a couple impactful conversations this past week, and I've been thinking a lot about how to move away from this generalized consulting business because the key issue right now is that there isn't much transferability between clients and projects because they all have different tech needs, platforms, business models. There's just not a whole lot of overlap there right now. It's really exercised our muscles and our abilities to move between these challenging problems, but we're not compounding as much as I would like. So I'm thinking about different niches that make sense to move into. I think one compelling one right now is AI B2B SaaS, or just software as a service, simply because there are a lot of non-foundational problems that many of them have to solve for themselves anyways or provide for themselves. One small example of that is like creating API docs for their customers to integrate with their own backends or APIs. So, that's one thing. I think even user interfaces nowadays are getting to be for B2B software is getting to be like pretty non-core. It's like the initial versions of those UIs. So that's another, good area to slot into, especially when you think about AI B2B software where you have these like, I wouldn't say standardized, but you do have overlap in these generative AI workflows. And so being able to provide those workflows easily is valuable. And again, it's not super core to their own company. It's not part of their secret sauce at each of these companies. So I think they're pretty comfortable letting that get delegated away outside of their current in-house core team. So yeah, there actually are a variety of problems these companies have that I'm seeing could be easy to sell and that I have experience in too. Even things like dashboards. Dashboards is such a common like B2B, software thing, and even it's AI B2B is no exception to that. So got a lot of interesting options there. We'll see. I think that the key thought around picking a niche like this is because of the counterintuitive idea, at least counterintuitive to me, of how as you niche down, it's easier to sell yourself and brand yourself. Right now, because we kind of say yes to almost everything. Like, we've done web, mobile, we do some mixed reality stuff internally. We, done game dev. Like, we kind of just do this really funny hodgepodge of things. Um, we don't become, obviously, we're not going to become known for any particular thing. So I do want us to get to a point where we could be known for something. And I think it's important to start to narrow that scope now while we're still relatively early on. I think that'll help us scale and grow more easily. And I'm not trying to scale this thing like super quickly. It's just more I want to see that trajectory line up with my expectations for this. And I also want to make sure that over time I don't feel this consistent or like latent stress to deliver again these variety of novel projects for different clients, which is what we've had to some extent recently. So I'm currently in the thick of thinking through what our ideal customer profile looks like, but I am leaning towards something within like AI, B2B, software as a service, because there are just a lot of those startups right now, and they have a lot of overlap in their problems that are just non-foundational to each of their individual companies' secret sauces. On the personal side, I might have mentioned this in one of the other videos, but I've recently joined this SF-based Toastmasters group that's in Mandarin and English. So it's a really interesting Toastmasters group. And if you don't know what Toastmasters is, they're like groups in North America where people meet and they do speeches every week. So maybe like an hour, 2 hour long meeting where people give prepared speeches that are like maybe 10 minutes long. And then there's the other half of the meeting dedicated to impromptu speeches called table topics. So in this particular group, they have it in both Mandarin and English. So there'll be a section dedicated to Mandarin table topics where you have to, given that topic, give a 1 to 2 minute impromptu speech in Mandarin, and same thing in English separately. What's cool though is in those prepared speeches, they actually allow the speaker to pick how they choose to present the speech. As in, you can either speak both Mandarin and English in your prepared speech, or just Mandarin or just English, which is kind of cool. So it's a very interesting group. I went to my first meeting a few weeks ago and greatly enjoyed it. But I also was very nervous when I was giving my first impromptu speech. I stuttered a ton. I used over 20 filler words, which in a span of under 2 minutes is pretty bad. I think I might have nearly almost won the award for most filler words for table topics. But the second event this past weekend was fantastic. I did two impromptu speeches, one in English, one in Mandarin, and this time I think they both went quite well. I don't know how many filler words I might have used. If I had to approximate, I think it was under five. And I overall just felt more confident and had more fun with it too. And I think something that I'm learning, because I also enjoy singing on the side as a hobby, what I've learned with like music as well is that the more fun you're having in the moment, the easier it is to get into that flow state and to just enjoy whatever you're doing and to actually do a better job of it anyways. So I had fun during my speeches, and I think I did a better job delivering those speeches to begin with. To be fair, I also do think doing these weekly YouTube videos is helping quite a bit. There's nothing like seeing yourself behind a video editor and having to listen to yourself over and over again. And it will start to pain you when you hear the same sets of filler words over and over again. So even if what I've realized is even if no one watches these videos ever, I still enjoy making them and I'm still getting better at speaking. And that transfers to a variety of activities in my current day-to-day life. Anyways, that was a fun personal event this past week. It was interesting in that it wasn't actually a normal Toastmasters meeting. It was in like 8 hour long hangout. It was like a pool party, barbecue, short hike, and a bunch of random games and activities. So it was a good time and also just involved opportunities to speak and give these short speeches. So that's been this past week. We're still in the middle of some of these deals that I might have mentioned in the previous videos. So we're still figuring out hiring around these extra developers that might join on for a current client project. So they're still in the middle of some of these deals. But I think the key thing this past week on the business side has just been this new direction that I'm working towards that I think will make more sense for us in the medium to long term. Otherwise, I'm here in Miami for the next couple days. I fly to Vancouver this weekend, and then I will be there until Friday. And then I go to Seattle for a couple days, and then I'm back in SF. So I'll be doing next week's video from Vancouver, most likely. Anyways, that's all for this week. A little shorter than the last one, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.